That's cool. Highlighting things. Sweet. We're moving up. Let's do that. Hey, welcome to another Leftcurv video. This one's about my thoughts on Bitcoin. I'm going to go through the pros and cons and just go through each one briefly. So why is Bitcoin important? Or my thoughts on Bitcoin and why it's cool. It's orange. Well, that works well. That kind of worked well. Sure. It's orange. Orange is a cool color. That's about all I have for that. The ideology was super important of creating something decentralized peer-to-peer network. So basically a network you trade value directly to another person using the internet that was decentralized in nature, so the government wouldn't have control or be able to manipulate or shut it down. Super important technology, especially in 2008, seeing all the bank crisis and shit happening. I don't really understand it. I was younger back then. Still don't understand it. I'm still young now. Yeah, but I know bad shit happened. It almost apparently ruined the whole financial system or whatever. But sorry, I'm wheezing and I'm also sitting on the floor. But yeah, I think it's funny sometimes. The financial system is just a creation made by people, and yet it's something that completely tends to benefit a small group versus everybody, at least for periods of time. And it seems to fail cyclically, from my understanding of YouTube video headlines I read. So Bitcoin's important because the idea of creating decentralized peer-to-peer trading technology is important. Using technology we have now, aka the internet and the electrical grid. And yeah, it actually works as a store of value. So on the high time frame specifically. So if you didn't buy the tops, or if you're normie and you look at these charts, so if you bought on these big peaks, then yeah, well, you're still up, funny enough. So remember, this used to be like $0, which is nutty. So yeah, it is a store of value, clearly. It has been functioning as so for a while. It seems like it will continue. It's just literally just trending upwards towards $100,000 right now. So it makes sense that this trend would just continue unless something changes, aka people stop buying Bitcoin. Cool. But yeah, so say you bought Bitcoin, and you're like, oh, I believe in this world asset as a store of value because blah 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 whatever the fuck, and you bought it in 2015 for $210. You're doing pretty good. So good store of value. Cons. Bitcoin consumes a shit ton of electricity. I think it's 300. Where would it be? I think miners were 3,200 watts. So say they're 3,000 watts times 10, 30,000 watts. That's 30 kilowatts in half a day. 62. I think it's 66 kilowatts a day. What? If you're running a Bitcoin ASIC miner, they're just using a shit ton of energy. I know it uses about as much energy as a Canadian house uses in a month. An ASIC miner uses the same amount of energy as a Canadian house uses in a month in a day. In a day, an ASIC miner uses the same amount of energy that an average Canadian house would use in a month. That's what I'm trying to say. Cool. It takes a lot of fucking energy. Low functionality. The only thing you do with Bitcoin, really, is transact, which is neat, but it's really slow. And it's not good to work as a currency in my opinion because it is slow. You can't transact on Bitcoin layer 1 as a global currency if you're trying to exchange value. And also because it is going up, do you really want to sell it if it's going to continue to go up to buy other shit? Because essentially you're just doing the same thing as always where, I don't know what these sounds are coming from my phone. I don't know. Say you bought say you were given a coin and you're this coin is $100 US, but in a year from now it's going to be 1,000. Would you sell it to buy chips or some shit? Because essentially as the value of Bitcoin goes up, if it's a reserve currency and you're supposed to use it to transact, that means the value of everything would just keep going down, right? Isn't that how that would work if it's like the reverse of inflation? I don't know. I'm not an economist. And sometimes these ideas hurts my brain. But yeah, it seems like it'd be a bad currency, but a good store value. Fees in the year 2140. So like as the halving comes to, or as the halving moves forward, it's going to stop happening in 2140. Which who knows? Maybe somebody will be alive because of technology. But like somebody looking at this video today might be alive because of technology. Not alive in general. I hope people are alive in 2140. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so fees. So that's when fees stop. So like, if Bitcoin doesn't have fees to pay the miners, what incentive is there for the network to keep mining? I know that there's stuff being built on other layers of Bitcoin right now. I don't really understand it all. I think it has a little bit of traction, which is neat. But yeah, I never really looked into it because I just mostly use Ethereum. Cool. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. All right. See you next video.